Hello, my fellow Geminis. How are you? Um, can't wait to share our forecast with you. But first, a cheap plug. Okay. Some of you have already purchased my latest book and you've thanked me, and you're welcome. If you are an astrology student or a professional astrologer, my latest book, Hidden Messages in Your Birth Chart, can be very helpful to you because it goes into your hidden messages that you got, we all got, the hidden messages from the authority figures in our lives when we were born. It's imprinted in our birth chart. This book will give you a deeper understanding of why you do the things you do. I don't mean you have permission to blame those people who gave you those messages. It's a very neutral book. It's very, very helpful. Your clients will appreciate it when you're able to sit down, look at their birth chart, and tell them their message from their mom or the matriarch in the family. In fact, you might blow them out of the frame. So I highly recommend it. That's an unbiased opinion, of course. Now, let's take a look at our terrific solar chart. And you know to apply all this information to your birth chart, like the full moon and the new moon. But as usual, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start right here with Mercury, our ruler. Mercury rules communication, correspondence, and transportation. It has been retrograde. It is no longer retrograde. But it is in the shadow of the retrograde until the 7th of July. And what this means is it's going to feel like Mercury is still retrograde. It's not, but it feels like it. So use the time between now and the 7th of July to tie up the loose ends that you didn't tie up when Mercury was retrograde. Makes sense to me. It's another chance. All right, it's in our first house. We are talking, we are communicating. You might laugh and say, well, don't we always? Yes, we do. But this is bigger. Now, Mercury is not a planet of action, it's a planet of thought. Are you writing a book, a blog? This would be the extra communication I'm talking about. And I highly suggest to all my Gemini friends that while it is still in our first solar house, which it will be until the 11th, express yourself verbally, on paper, online. You get the picture. All right. On the 11th, it moves into our solar second house. Wow. Second house is money. Uh-huh. I know you're getting excited. I know you are now. Um, Mercury in the second house. When it's in our second house, we think about money. We talk about money. And whatever you think about and talk about, you put your attention on, and whatever you put your attention on grows. Oh, and by the way, the sun, the giver of life, is also in our second house. And as usual, I'm getting ahead of myself, but hey, it's looking good. So I will go over the sun in a minute. While Mercury's in our second house, we'll have all kind of ideas on how to increase our income. It is in our second house from the 11th to the 27th when it moves into our natural third house where it feels it belongs. Lots of communication, lots of talking, lots of travel, all that good stuff. I love it. Okay, now the sun, the giver of life, is in our solar second house, which I've already mentioned. Wherever the sun is, that is the area of life that takes on life. It is life itself. And so what it's in the second house now, which means we've been thinking of ways of creating more income. And remember, we're Geminis. We talk, we express ourselves. This is our field of expertise. Apply it in your life. So the sun, and here it is, creating more income, and Mercury creating ideas on more income. And on the 22nd, the sun moves into our third house. Now it precedes Mercury. Once Mercury gets there, there's just so much chatter coming from us. Um, and we must express. So the center of our life then becomes our ideas. And if you are ready to publish a book, if you are ready to publish a podcast, anything involving communication, correspondence, and transportation with the sun and Mercury in the third house, it's time. Mercury again enters the third house on the 27th, the sun on the 22nd. Now, we got a packed third house. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, has been in our third house. So we've been seeing beautiful things, seeing life through the eyes of beauty and love. It's going to stay in our third house, giving us beautiful ideas until the 21st, when it moves into our fourth house of home, family, and real estate. And this can be the time when we simply enjoy being with the family or simply enjoy being at home, possibly beautifying it. Okay? Because Venus is beauty. Mars, the planet of passion. Wow. Wherever Mars is, that's what you fight with and fight for. We're using our words as ammunition. We're telling it like it is. We've been doing that since Mars has been in our third house. It's going to stay in our third house until the 29th. Then it brings its firepower to the fourth house of home, family, and real estate. So Venus enters our fourth house on the 21st, and we're feeling lovely and beautiful. And then maybe a delightful relative arrives, delightful being in quotes, and brings Mars, brings war, brings arguing. Or it can be that that's when we finally get that dripping faucet fixed. That's when we finally get that it's time to sell the house, beautify it, and sell it. In other words, we have love and passion in that fourth house. Use these beautiful planets as you choose. Now, on the 7th, 2 days after Mercury comes out of the shadow of the retrograde, we have a new moon. Did I mention it's in our second house? And that's where the energy starts growing. So on the 9th of July, the new moon is in 18 Cancer. Find 18 Cancer in your birth chart. Combine it with the fact that in your solar chart, our solar chart, it's in our second house of money, and go for it. Just go for it. 2 weeks after the new moon, we have a full moon on the 23rd in 1 degree Aquarius. Aquarius is the humanitarian. The ninth house is the big picture. Remember, the third house, ideas. The ninth house, principles. Third house, short distance travel. Ninth house, long distance travel. Ninth house full moon tells me that we have options open to us we did not know we had. It expands our horizons. Are you a writer? Um, are you coming out with a new book? Ninth house is publishing, whether your own publishing or being published by another company. It doesn't matter. It's the expansion. of our horizons. Don't you love that? Yes, it is yet another adventure for us. And so, my dear Gemini friends, always lovely to talk to you. Um, wish you were here and looking forward to being with you next month when once again I look at our forecast. Until then, this is Maxine Taylor saying, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Bye for now.